Go long!
No, I can't.
Here comes the pitch to Crawford guy. Strike three.
Come on, Crawford guy, take the shot.
Sports may not be our specialty, but home comfort is. Crawford Company, plumbing and drain cleaning, heating and air conditioning.
When storm damage hits, All Major Restorations is your insurance claim specialist. Loose or missing shingles, dented siding, or damaged windows. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities works with your insurance company, making the process quick and easy. The insurance company has people fighting for them. Let All Major Restorations work for you. Residential, commercial, and industrial. There's a reason they have an A+ accredited Better Business Bureau rating. Storm damage estimates are always free. Visit amrestorations.com. All Major Restorations of the Quad Cities. ESPN 1170 AM is the Quad Cities sports leader and your home of the local sports show. Don't hassle us, we're local. Listen for a chance to win everything from tickets to free food. Every time you win and pick up your prize at the ESPN 1170 AM Pepsi ticket window, we'll give you a free Pepsi for the road as well. It's like winning twice. Get more chances to win by downloading the ESPN 1170 AM app or by going to ESPN1170am.com.
Cheer on Augustana Women's Volleyball at the Carver Center the final weekend of September as Coe, Wartburg, and St. Mary's are part of the Viking Classic. Then it's homecoming week. Men's and women's cross country host the Brisman Invitational on Friday at Sauckie Golf Course. First race at 4:30. Homecoming Saturday features the football Vikings battling Milliken at 1, followed by a soccer doubleheader against Carroll starting at 5. For complete game information, visit augustana.edu. Augustana College, a family-friendly front row seat to big-time small college sports.
Online sports betting is here with EliteSportsbook.com. If you are an active Rhythm City Casino Resort Club member, go to EliteSportsbook.com now and follow the prompts to start betting. Not a Resort Club member? Visit Rhythm City to join today. Bet with Elite Sportsbook at Rhythm City Casino Resort or online now. More ways to get in the game with EliteSportsbook.com and Rhythm City Casino Resort. Must be 21. Gambling a problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
From local to global, ESPN 1170 has you covered. Your Quad City sports show is here for you. Don't hassle us. We're local with your favorite foursome. T-Roy, Jay-Bird, Surge, and you. Weekdays noon to 2 on the Quad City sports leader. ESPN 1170 AM wants you to be an insider. Get access to great contests at ESPN1170am.com. Brought to you by Necker's Jewelers, where the Quad Cities gets engaged. From the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM. From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad City sports leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KPOB, Davenport.
All right, guys, we are back here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Done Right Satellite and Dish. And thanks to Sonny from Done Right for coming in and getting our Facebook Live up and going.
Yay!
Yay, Sonny.
Attaboy.
And Kelly for sending him.
Attaboy.
Yep. We're here on AM 1170. We are your ESPN affiliate. Don't change that dial. It's just going to get better.
Looking at some scores from yesterday around Major League Baseball. The Brewers beat the Reds 5-3. White Sox beat the Indians 8-0. Twins 10-4. 10-4, good buddy. Beat the Tigers. Pirates beat the Cubs, giving the Cubs their 9th straight loss.
Go Cubs. How about them Cubbies?
Athletics beat the Mariners 3-1, but that's not what's important.
No.
What's important, Felix Hernandez went 5 1/3 innings, 3 earned runs, 3 strikeouts, and it's believed to be his final start as a Mariner. He left a mound to a standing ovation and also curtain call. Plenty of tears in his eyes, and why not? He's Seattle's leader in wins, strikeouts, innings, quality starts, probably games. He's also just one of 2 players who have played at least 15 seasons with the Mariners. He also has a perfect game, 2,500 and more. Yeah, perfect game, 2,500 more strikeouts, and a Cy Young. He's the only player in history to have all that. Last night, Thursday Night Football, the Packers lost 34-27 because they cannot do things within the 5-yard line. They were 3 for 7 within the red zone, but also they could not score with 9 minutes left in the fourth quarter when they were within the 5, and then also with less than a minute left, they threw an interception And Nigel Bradham picked off Aaron Rodgers' pass on 2nd and goal. Could have been pass interference, but oh well. The loss snaps Aaron Rodgers' 59-game unbeaten streak when leading by 10 points or more at home. So, is what it is. We also talked about today, paying attention to in the PGA, Tony Romo's teeing off. Right now, he's currently at 2 under.
That's right.
At the PGA Tour Safeway Open. He's an amateur, but he is currently tied for 28th after the first round, only 5 shots back of the leader, Adam Scott, co-leaders Adam Scott and Andrew Landry. More importantly, Bear fans and Viking fans, if Romo makes the cut, he'll continue to play and miss Sunday's game between the Vikings and the Bears, where he was supposed to be in the booth for CBS. Pay attention later on this afternoon where we write on their ESPN 1170 blog, The Sharpshooter. We're giving you where the sharps are at, where the pros are at. We want to remind you to bet with the pros, not just the public. But that being said, we're going to take a look at 6 games in the NCAA. We're going to look at 6 in the NFL, and we're going to tell you which ones we like against the spread. I'm changing up my NFL, but more importantly, we're going to put our pick sixes on ESPN 1170 AM, and then we'll put it on our Facebook page as well. We'll share it. We need you to pick the winners against the spread and the total score of the Sunday Night Football game between the Cowboys and the Saints. Winner's going to get 2 tickets to Bret Michaels' concert that's coming up next month. Last week we gave away $100 gift.
Where's that concert at?
Cedar Rapids.
Okay.
Yeah. Last week we gave away $100 gift certificate. Keller's American Grill. These tickets are worth more than, they're worth around the same price. Yeah. All right. So NCAA games. What do we have here?
Well, the first one on the docket, Bird, is Virginia at Notre Dame. Notre Dame is favored by 12.5, coming off a loss at Georgia.
Okay, this is going to be at 2:30 on NBC. Notre Dame is currently minus 12.5 against Virginia. Like you, T-Ray, just said, Notre Dame suffered a tough loss to Georgia, but many were impressed by their loss. Notre Dame still has an outside shot in the playoffs if they win out, and which is what they're going to do.
Are they one-loss team right now?
Yes. The ACC can show it's more than just Clemson. Virginia wins its one on the road. Virginia right now is currently 13-3 against the spread in its last 16 games against teams with winning records. Notre Dame has won its past 13 home games by an average of 20.7. So there's the key number there, 13. Virginia's 13-3 against the spread in its last 16 games against teams with winning records. Notre Dame has won its past 13 home games by an average of 20.7. 12.5 points. Virginia at Notre Dame.
Jay?
Yes.
Virginia will be 13-4 after this weekend.
Oh.
I'm going to take Notre Dame minus the points.
I struggled with this one, and I went to I went to college football stats, and started looking at their school ratings, and looked at their ratings based on their strength of schedule, their wins, and wins against teams with winning record as opposed to losing records. And I gave them a value. And by the value of the rankings that I have here, I like Virginia here. So I am taking Virginia, and I'm taking the points.
Okay.
The next game, USC at Washington. This game is also at 2:30. This will be on Fox. Washington is ranked number 17. USC is ranked number 21. Washington is currently minus 10. The Pac-12 loves to beat up on each other. That's why the Pac-12 is constantly left out of the college football playoffs. They beat up on each other, and week to week you can't really depend on one team to do the other. But the winner of this game will put themselves in prime position to win its respective divisional titles. Washington is in the Pac-12 North, while USC is in the Pac-12 South. Numbers to know. Washington is 7-3 against the spread in their last 10 games against USC. But USC has won 10 of the last 13 meetings. So that's a straight up. For those new to the gambling world, against the spread is when you take the lines and you put that in there. Straight up is when they just play like the game started at 0-0. USC has also won the last five. USC has won 5 of the last 6 games at Washington. Washington, minus 10.
I'll take the Huskies, Jay.
Taking the home team, back-to-back home teams, huh?
Yes, sir.
I'm taking the road dog as well again. I'm taking USC. I don't really know what's going on. This quarterback who got thrown in because of injuries actually at some point in the spring, T-Roy himself had entered the transfer portal.
And he stayed.
But he stayed.
Oh.
And now he threw 3 touchdowns and over 300 yards last week.
Well, maybe the Cubs will play their cards right, and I'll stick around.
Ohio State at Nebraska.
Yeah. Nebraska coming off a squeak-out victory against the Fighting Illini, Huggy's team. Huggy's heartbroken. He wants to come on and be our voice of the Illini. Nebraska got lucky. Guess what? Just like the Indianapolis Colts, you've run out of luck. The Buckeyes are coming to town. They are minus 17.5. You're a plus 17.5 road dog or home dog. There's nothing I hate more than the Cornhuskers. I'm taking the Buckeyes.
Rarely will you find me on a Saturday watching Ohio State game if Iowa's not involved in it. Rarely will you find me on a Saturday watching a Nebraska game if Iowa's not involved in it. If by chance this tournament gets rained out, I will find time to watch this game. I don't know why. I'm just excited to watch Ohio State run all over these guys.
Yes.
Nebraska almost beat Ohio State last year. So that's going to be in Day's head. And yeah, they have Martinez, a Heisman Trophy hopeful. But they have a turnover problem. They have they're second most in the country with 11 turnovers.
A lot of people are hopeful, Jay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's little kids out there hopeful they don't poop their pants.
And they are.
And it ain't going to happen.
Okay. Nebraska is 4-12 against the spread in its last 16 home games. But it was different then. We had a different coach. We didn't have Frost back then against the spread. So you have to throw out those games. That's really only about 7 out of 16, T-Roy. So that's not a good... You can't do that. It's not fair. All right. 4 of 12 against the spread in its last 16 home games. Meanwhile, Ohio State is 17-3 overall in its last 20 Big Ten road games. I'm taking Ohio State. I'm giving up the points.
Well, we both agree.
Wisconsin. Northwestern is at Wisconsin. This is a
Whiskey
beast.
in my jar.
It's a beast. I don't like to say that. I don't like to give too much credit to anything. What Taylor's already a 2-time this year Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year. He's going to go down. Jonathan Taylor's going to go down as another one of those list of great Wisconsin running backs. Northwestern, I'm sorry, it's a lot of points, but it just seems like Wisconsin's just consistently running downfield on everybody. I'm giving up the points at the 24.5. I think they'll beat them by 30.
I agree, Jay. I think they're going to be like 30, 35, nothing. It's going to be bad.
Iowa State at Baylor.
Yeah, Iowa State favored by 3 in this? Is that that's not a typo,
I'm gonna make
is
sure
it?
I have this right where they're at. All right.
Yeah, I either way, it seems like a lot of points to give up on the road for Iowa State right now. I am not necessarily impressed. Did they have last week off?
They killed the team that they played. Louisiana Monroe.
Oh, that's right. I apologize.
Yeah, they put up a lot. Yeah, it's at Baylor. Baylor is the home dog.
Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to take the home dog plus the 3.
I am agreeing with you. I am taking the home dog as well. By my rankings and what I see by the numbers, Baylor should be favored in this game, not Iowa State.
Plus, Chip and Joanna Gaines could be at the game.
Okay. And then finally, Middle Tennessee State at Iowa. Iowa's minus 24.
Well, like I heard someone say this week, the best team in Tennessee is coming to Iowa to play.
That's the best. One of my favorite tweets. Let's just put all this behind us and get focused on the best team in Tennessee coming to Iowa.
Yeah.
Iowa City this week.
Listen, we got to stick with our boy Cody Hills, right, Jay?
Cody Hills, the Iowa Sim, hashtag Iowa Sim 19 was last night on Twitter.
Yep.
And Iowa, what I tell you, it was
43 to 17.
43-17.
That easily covers a 24-point spread, Jay. If I'm doing my math, that's a 26-point spread.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll take the Hawkeyes all day, Bird.
Kakert said take the Hawks, they'll cover. Rosso said good teams cover. Cody Hills said that they cover. Hawkeyes cover.
There you go.
Newly fresh baby-faced Stanley. He shaved the goatee.
Did he?
He's going to, yeah.
You and I agreed on the last 4, so we'll see.
That's the first 2, huh? The 2:30 games.
Either I'll be 6-0 or I'll be 4-2.
Gotcha. Do you want to go right into pick 6? You want to take a quick break before we go?
Don't you need my rankings?
Yes.
My tiers?
I'll have you. Yes. All right. So I had you. Let's go into it because that way we can take a break before we get a phone call and clean you up over there.
Okay.
All right. So here's what I did. And if you were here the first hour when I was frustrated with the talking heads, what they say about the Packers, and somebody's writing something for them behind the scenes when they do their prep work. And sooner or later, I have to realize that I don't need to take other people's words when I have T-Roy right in here. I like his rankings. I know who's writing it for him. He does it. So I said, I'm going to have him tier his rankings, and I'm going to give them a weighted value, and that's how I'm going to come up with my picks against the spread. So you have your rankings. How many are in Tier 1? Tier 1's important.
Tier 1. There's one team in Tier 1.
Okay, I like that. Okay. That's going to be the Patriots, right?
That is correct. Patriots are the class of the NFL right now.
Okay.
Tier 2. I have 3 teams in Tier 2.
Okay, that's going to be the Chiefs, the Rams, Dallas.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. 3.
Tier 3, I have 4 teams. And this was made on Monday, everybody, so
absolutely.
Please bear with me.
You're going to drop down 2 tiers, and one of these are.
Yes.
So.
I have the Packers, the 49ers, the Bills, and the Ravens.
Okay.
Tier 4 has 6 teams.
Okay.
The Vikings, the Colts, the Bears, the Saints, the Texans, and the Lions.
Okay, I'm just getting this right now. Vikings, the Colts, the Saints, the Texans, and the Lions, right?
And don't forget the Bears.
Bears, okay. Fine.
All right, Tier 5, and like I said, there's going to be some changes.
Mm-hmm.
Chargers, Eagles, Seahawks, Panthers, Falcons, Jaguars.
Okay. Let me make sure I have this right, okay?
Yep.
Chargers, Eagles, Seahawks, Panthers, Falcons, Jaguars.
Correct.
Okay, that's Tier 5. Okay, give me Tier 6.
Tier 6, the Titans,
Okay.
the Bucks, the Browns, the Raiders, and the Broncos.
And the Broncos. Titans, Bucks, Browns, Broncos, right?
Titan, Bucks, Browns, Raiders, Broncos.
Raiders, okay. Okay. Tier 7.
Tier 7, the Giants,
Uh-huh.
the Steelers, the Bengals.
The Bengals,
Yep.
and then Tier 8.
Tier 8, the Redskins, the Cardinals, the Jets, and the Dolphins.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put after 4. I'm going to put that at 0. That line right there is 0. So at 5, that's negative 0.5. That's what I'm doing right there.
Okay.
Then I'm going to go at 6, negative 1, 7, negative 2, 8, negative 2.5.
Okay.
So that means if I do it I'm going to give 3 at Tier 1 plus 3. Tier 2, I'm going to do plus 2. I'll do that, yeah. Plus 1, plus 5. And then no matter what, I'm going to give plus 2.5 at home. And that's how I'm going to come up with my spreads. And that's how I'm going to figure it out from here.
Okay.
This is what I'm going to figure out from here. So, right now, game 1, we have Browns at Ravens, right?
Mm-hmm.
Browns at Ravens. So you have the Browns in your 6th tier, right?
Yep.
So that is an automatic negative 1.
Mm-hmm.
And you have your Ravens. The Ravens are in
Tier 3.
Tier 3 plus 1. Plus 1 plus 2.5. 3.5 plus 4. This is not going to work out in my favor. Should be more than that. So it says here that I have them at a plus 4.5, but I need to weigh this a little bit differently.
Maybe you do, maybe you don't.
Maybe I do. I'm going to change it up because it's.
Because I took the Browns. I'm taking the road dog here.
I'm going to follow this for now, and then I'm going to do some tweaking. I'm going to follow it, and next week we'll see how it goes. I'm going to have to take the Browns.
I took the Browns. I just think that they're going to play this one tough. It's a divisional game. They'll lose, but they'll cover the spread.
Okay. The next game, Raiders at Colts. You have Indy. Colts are in your 4.
Yep.
Tier 4. And the Raiders are in
Tier 6.
6. 1. 1.5. Yeah. This one also puts it at about a 4. This puts it at a 4. Colts are -7.
For some reason, I like the Colts in this, Jay. I'm going to take the road favorite, or the home favorite. Not excited about the Raiders. But I see what you're doing. You're saying go Raiders.
I'm going to have to. And I'm going to have to say go Raiders here.
Okay.
Redskins at the Giants.
There's not a whole lot of difference between these two teams right now, Jay. I think the Redskins are going to come out playing a little angry. I don't think the Giants defensively are what the Bears were.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the Redskins plus the points. That doesn't mean the Giants don't win. But I'll take the Redskins. I'll take the home. I'll take the road dog.
Based on the thing, I've got the Giants at 3.5, so I'm taking the Giants.
Okay.
Now the Patriots at the Bills. The only thing I change, if I change it by this thing, 3 plus 2.5, that I have them at 5.5. I have the Bills at 5.5. That does not make it plus 5. I mean, the Patriots would be -5.5. The line is 7. By this math, I have to take the Bills in the points.
I took the Bills in the points as well. They always play the Patriots tough. Patriots will win this game.
Earlier we talked about that we got a text from our friend Dave Lavora.
Yeah.
And you can bet. I don't know if you can bet on our line, but you can, and other things you can, on whether or not a dildo will be thrown on the field during the Patriots and Bills game.
And it's never your dildo or their. It's always the dildo.
Mm-hmm. A dildo has been thrown on the field in each of the last 3 Patriots visits to Buffalo. The Bills have already given out 1 lifetime ban for throwing a dildo. The odds are, yes, is -140, meaning you have to put up $140 to win 100 that there will be one thrown. And no is the even money at +100.
What? Who named the dildo?
I don't know.
I mean, it just fits.
For each Patriots visit in the last 3 seasons, a dildo has been tossed on the field, and in some cases, multiple dildos in a single game. Okay. On a very serious football play in 2016, Chris Hogan caught a swing pass in the flat near the goal line and was fighting for yards to the end zone when an unidentified object made its way onto the field. Unbeknownst to anyone at the time, it was the first ever dildo to be tossed onto a field onto an NFL field of play. The referee, standing by the member, analyzed the situation and moved it the best way he knew how, hands-free.
Yeah.
The this is bad. The unknown fan was appropriately given the shaft by Bills management as he and a guest earned a lifetime ban from the stadium. In an interview after the game, the fan said that the inspiration came from a 1970s porn star themed party that took place before the game. He took the leftover prop to New Era Stadium, wrote the name Brady on it, and let it fly. How did he get it in the building, you ask? I wore 2 pairs of pants, so I put it in acting like I had a huge member. I just put it in there, and they didn't even pat me down. So, that's the history of the toss. All right. It's something else. You can find that at sportsbetting.com. Yeah, sportsbetting.com. Vikings at Bears.
Well, Jay, if you go by my stuff, you have to take the Bears here. They're in the same bracket.
Yes.
So that cancels out.
That cancels out.
And the Bears are on the road. Or at home.
2.5, and because I have to give it that, yeah. I would put it at I give it the +2.5, but I mean 2.5 at home, but I'm going to take, in a case of a tie, I'm going to take the Bears. So I am taking the Bears too.
Yep, me too.
And it's just going to cause
you
jam.
You took Browns, Raiders.
Yep.
Redskins.
I took Giants.
Oh, you took Giants?
Yep. Bills and Bears.
Bills and Bears. Okay.
Finally, Dallas at the Saints.
Oof. We got the Cowboys are in the 2-tier bracket. Saints are in the 4-tier.
This works out for Dallas and mine, and here's why. In the tier, it was +2 at home, +2.5, and then we have, it's supposed to go the other way because they're at home.
Yeah.
2.5, it weighs it out. It should be a pick 'em. So I have to take the home dog here.
All right.
And I'm reluctantly taking the home dog.
I'm taking them Cowboys.
Yeah, and you should. but I'm just following this. I think the tiers need tweaking as far as how much weight I give each one of them, but that's where this is right now. This was a work in progress.
Is it the proper amount of tiers, or do I need to change the tiers up?
No. I think it needs to. I need to find a medium and see how by tier 1 how much weight that gets compared to the other ones. I think if your tier 1 should be valued higher. I'm not a mathematical genius, but I can figure out something because it's way too even as it is.
Yeah.
So there needs to be a weight for you being much higher. Okay. It works out a little bit in the games that I would have picked. I still would have picked the Giants. I still would have taken the Bears. I honestly probably would have taken the Patriots, even though I know everybody likes the Bills. But I Giants, Bears, and I would have taken Dallas. So really But this is it's time to come up with my own formula, because one, you don't want to bet with the public. And as we saw, and sometimes you don't really follow what the sharps are doing,
right?
Because even though they're sharp, here's the thing about it here, right? There's tons of pros out there, but that doesn't mean that the pros are betting every game.
Right.
Each pro finds a game that works to their system.
Right.
So even though we write out there, hey, the pros are on here,
well, it doesn't mean the pros are right.
It doesn't mean every pro's laying $10,000 bets down. So you need to find the ones that work in your favor and the ones that your numbers like, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find my own numbers, and I do like your rankings. I like them better than the ones we look at SI, so it's better for me. Let's take a break, and then we'll have a phone. We have a phone call at 1:40. We have a guest.
All right, everybody, make sure you get to Beer Fest Saturday, October 12th at Oscar's Pub, featuring Pat McGurty. That's Saturday, October 12th at Oscar's Pub. Pat McGurty's going to be live singing Sex and Beer. Tickets are on sale now through the Oscars Pub Facebook lines. There's going to be Vans bread nugget eating competition, beer pong, flippy cup contest. Live music starts at 4:30 with the Betterman, and then 7:30, like I said, Pat McGurty. Once again, Saturday, October 12th, Oscars Pub, featuring Pat McGurty.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
This is Coach A.C. Earl. Don't hassle us, we're local.
ESPN 1170 AM.
In business, is it better to build your way to growth or buy your way? First Midwest Bank has ideas. It's a critical decision and different for every company. A First Midwest commercial banker can help you weigh your options, because at First Midwest, they're not just bankers, but expert financial advisors. Talk to one today or visit wehaveideas.firstmidwest.com. M&A momentum, strategic momentum, business momentum. First Midwest Bank.
And now an old classic commercial from Mark Brenny.
This is Skip Tracer from the outdoor reality show Joe Bazillionaire. Joe, is it true that you inherited the state of Montana and have thousands of acres to play on, and you're here to find an ATV to spend the rest of your life with?
Well, that's why I'm here.
Here come the contestants now.
Ooh, the competition is stiff. The power, the flexibility, the low monthly payments, the winches, the plows, the camo covers.
Look at that Suzuki ATV from Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic.
So powerful, so sleek, so... It's going to be a tough call, but I'm leaning towards the Suzuki with 3 headlights, automatic transmission, and push-button 4-wheel drive.
They all have pretty bodies and fancy switches.
But the real test will be on the individual dates, alone with each machine in the back country. It's anyone's guess what sort of bump and grind I'll experience.
Well, looks like Joe is one happy camper. Get happy yourself in your own Suzuki ATV from Brenny's Motorcycle Clinic across from Alcoa. Almost.
Suzuki ATVs are recommended only for those 16 years and older. Suzuki recommends an improved training course. See your dealer for details.
Today on the adventures of Super Louie, our hero and his trusty sidekick Thor find themselves battling the vile villain Father Time at Arrowhead Ranch.
You will never collect enough cars by October 11th to help at-risk youth in the area.
Superheroes, I need your help. Donate your card at Arrowhead Ranch today. It's tax deductible and they'll pick it up even if it doesn't run.
Will our hero prevail? Tune in next time to see if Super Louie
and Thor,
yes, and Thor, can defeat Father Time at Arrowhead Ranch.
Online sports betting is here with EliteSportsbook.com. If you are an active Rhythm City Casino Resort Club member, go to EliteSportsbook.com now and follow the prompts to start betting. Not a Resort Club member? Visit Rhythm City to join today. Bet with Elite Sportsbook at Rhythm City Casino Resort or online now. More ways to get in the game with EliteSportsbook.com and Rhythm City Casino Resort. Must be 21. Gambling a problem? Call 1-800-BETS-OFF.
Score a touchdown on your next new or used purchase at Sexton Ford. With a huge selection of new Ford cars and trucks, you'll feel like you've entered the big game each and every time. You'll be treated like a pro player from sales to service, auto body to parts. Sexton also has a strong bench of mildly used vehicles too. Why wait? The game's on at Sexton Ford in Moline.
Oh yeah, Sexton Ford is the talk of the town.
ESPN 1170 AM is the Quad Cities sports leader and your home of the local sports show. Don't hassle us, we're local. Listen for a chance to win everything from tickets to free food. Every time you win and pick up your prize at the ESPN 1170 AM Pepsi ticket window, we'll give you a free Pepsi for the road as well. It's like winning twice. Get more chances to win by downloading the ESPN 1170 AM app or by going to ESPN1170am.com.
Your home of the Chicago Cubs, Chicago Bears, and the only local sports show in the Quad Cities. Don't hassle us, we're local. Noon to 2 on the Quad City Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM.
Welcome back to ESPN 1170 AM and Don't Hassle Us, we're local. Here in the Hassle Castle, brought to you by Done Right Security and TV Solutions. Go out there, give them the love, and locals love us as well. That's Done Right Security and TV Solutions. T-Roy had to step out for a bit. He's got to take care of some things. Serge had to as well, but I'm all right. I can man it here. I got a phone call coming in a minute or two. We're going to talk to Alyssa Weatherby. Yesterday morning on the Mississippi, she completed her log roll across from Port Byron to LeClaire on the Mississippi River. We're going to talk to her right now. All right. You're on ESPN 1170. Is this Alyssa?
This is.
Hi, Alyssa. How are you?
Great. How are you guys doing today?
We're doing well. It's just me in studio. T-Roy had to step out, and so did Serge, but I'm the one that, set this whole thing up, and I got to thank Derek out there at Tuggers in Port Byron for giving me your contact. Saw the video. Yesterday, you are the first person to cross the Mississippi via log roll.
Yes.
And so let's talk about this. Where are you from originally, Alyssa?
From Bar Harbor, Maine.
Okay, Bar Harbor, Maine. How did this? You have a background in you take part in professional timber sports, right? That's what it's called?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, correct. Yep.
Okay, let's start there. How do you get involved in professional timber sports?
Well, I grew up in Maine, and I grew up cutting wood with my family, and, cutting wood, stacking, splitting, and then got into running chainsaws and stuff, and then in my early 20s got into the competition side of it, and met a bunch of other women that were competing in timber sports. And so the more competitions I went to, the more events I learned how to do, and I won a championship in axe throwing and in PV log rolling, and it went on from there. And then we started a business called Axe Women Loggers of Maine, which is a team. We have about 15 girls on our team, and all the ladies are world record holders, world champions, collegiate champions in all kinds of different events. And we travel around competing, and when we're not competing, people can hire us to come in and do demonstrations or lessons or shows or whatever someone is looking for.
Okay, so so you guys go in, and sometimes you just put on like events. People hire you out for different festivals and stuff to do you got the lumberjill things that you're talking about?
Correct.
Okay.
Yep. And so that's how we found LeClaire and Port Byron last year. We had been doing a show out in Nebraska. The state of Nebraska had hired us for an outdoor expo, and a year ago this week we were driving back through, and we stopped in LeClaire, and we had lunch at the Riverview Roadhouse. And all the people were so awesome, and they were telling us about your Tug Fest, and the town just seemed really, really cool. And the longer we sat there and we watched the river go by and my husband kind of jokingly asked me if I thought that I could log roll across. I said, yeah, I think I can. And so we worked on it for a year, and it turned out really well.
Okay, so what do you have to do to set that up? Because it does sound like, yes, a year makes sense, but you're not native to the Mississippi, so you don't really know how that works. I mean, and then
Right.
do you have to shut it down like they do for the Tug Fest?
No. But for a year, my husband Mike was working on all the logistics of everything to find out if we did need permits or anything. So he's been on the phone with all the different authorities, the Coast Guard and the DNR, and the Army Corps of Engineers, and both sides of the river, both states. He was on the phone with the barge companies and, trying to get schedules and get everything all figured out. And it was actually the barge companies that gave him the time of day to do it. They said 8 a.m. was probably the least active time through there. And, everyone was looking out. They all knew what was going on.
Well, yeah, of course. I would assume like the first part of it is a little like, wait, hold on, you're going to do what? Right?
Yeah,
you have to
I'm sure he got that a lot when he called places and said what I wanted to do.
I'm sure there's a lot of exchange of emails like, here, I'll send you the information, just look at it, and we'll talk again at another time. This took you roughly 30 minutes to do, right?
Yes, yep.
Okay, how do you prepare for the current of the Mississippi?
We practiced this spring as soon as it was warm enough to be getting in the ocean in Maine. We practiced in a cove that had tides going in and out. Which is definitely nothing like your river, but
okay.
It was the closest that we could really come up with. So we were out in the Atlantic Ocean, and I've been practicing staying on the log for over an hour at a time, because we really had no idea how long it was going to take.
Okay.
I guessed 30 minutes, and that's what it worked out to be, but honestly, it was just a pretty good guess.
And then you had
lots of practicing staying on the log.
So you had a canoe in front of you?
Yes, we had a canoe. My husband and my dad were in the canoe, and they made sure that they didn't actually pull me across, like in any, back and forth across the river motion. But they needed to keep the log straight, because all I can do is go backwards or forwards on it. I couldn't actually steer it if I were to get caught in a current. I'm pretty sure the current would probably have just cartwheeled the log down the river. So I was tethered to the canoe, and the canoe just kept the log pointed straight across.
Okay.
So that I did the forward motion across the river. And they kept me from spinning out of control, I think.
Yeah, and you made it from Port Byron to Leclerc in 30 minutes. So I just think is this common? When you guys are traveling around, do you find things and you're like, you know what, wouldn't it be good to try this? Or is this like a first time where it just was like what you should do, and you guys just kind of ran with it?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it was. We've definitely seen areas before driving by where we're like, that would be really cool to log roll in, but, definitely nothing like your river. And, this just kind of came up, and the more we thought about it, we thought it would be really cool and unique to do. And, we researched it, and we couldn't find any recorded evidence of anyone, log rolling across with the intention of log rolling across. I know, there's a huge timber history. On the river. So I know there have definitely been log rollers in the river, and log drives and stuff throughout the years.
It's just not something that, like you said, you grew up in the Northeast in Maine. It's not something that I think we find that common around here is the log rolling. So up in the Northeast, is there a lot of rivers where people have done this before?
Yeah, I think anywhere that there's a logging history.
Okay.
Anywhere that there were log drives, the log drivers, they definitely had one of the most dangerous jobs in the logging camp. It was more dangerous than going out and cutting the logs, because, they had to run out on the logs, on the log jams, and try to break them up. and it was usually during the spring floods. So the water was freezing. If they went in the water, they're most likely going to be crushed or drowned or freeze. So, but yeah, any river that went through any type of, logging area, I'm sure there was, plenty of log drives and stuff on, and log rollers and all of that history, anywhere that was like that throughout history.
So can you tell me about axe throwing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do I know about it?
Well, you're a champion. You said you're a champion axe thrower, right?
Yeah.
How does? I mean, I'm not for certain. I don't know if they've moved shops, but I know we had a hatchet throwing place in our local mall, and
cool.
It was more the thing that it was more billed as like, hey, get your stress out and whip this hatchet against some wood. You got in your axe women. I posted on our Facebook and our Facebook comment line on our Facebook Live. Your website for the axe women, and then it says that your group is made up of collegiate and world champions. So
we have a really amazing group of ladies. There's tons of the different axe throwing bars and clubs opening up, and they're really cool. They're really fun. But not really many of them are actually throwing axes. A lot of them are throwing, their hatchets or their tomahawks.
Mm-hmm. That's what it looks
so
like.
we're actually throwing, so we're throwing like the real axes, a 6-inch blade, a double-headed axe, a 24-inch handle. We throw from a distance of 20 feet away.
Okay, that's my next. That's going to be my next question. How far away are you guys? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the hatchet throwing places, they're like 12 to 15 feet. I'm not sure on that, but so we're throwing from 20 feet, and there's some great competitions around the whole world for it. Hayward, Wisconsin is the Lumberjack World Championships, and there's the World Open Lumber Jill Championships is in Boonville, New York every year, and I've won that one back several years ago.
Wow. So the place around here, it's called Live Action Games. And like you said, instead of axes, it's hatchets. So, but they do other things involved as well. But you did mention the bars, the hatchet throwing bars. What are those?
I think it's along the same lines.
Okay.
Some of these places are just set up in clubs. We've seen them set up in gyms before.
Yeah.
There's a lot of, bars and restaurants that, instead of darts, they're throwing hatchets.
That's
the back wall.
That's what I was going to ask. How does the scoring work in that situation? Just like darts? Like the closer to the bullseye, you get a certain amount of points?
Yeah, I mean, in our competitions, the bullseye is worth 5, and then every line after that goes down 1. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Some competitions you go to, they'll shake up a can of soda or beer, and they'll put that in the bullseye. If you break the can, you get 6 points instead of 5.
Well, look at this.
It's really fun, and
like
every competition you go to is a little bit different, and it's fun to go to a different one, where you're doing something a little more unique.
Alyssa, how long are you in town for?
We are on the road tomorrow morning to a show in West Virginia.
Okay.
Just for today.
So how long when you plan something like this, how long are you usually on the road before you make it back up to Maine?
We're usually on the road pretty steady from June or July until mid-October.
Oh, wow. So when you guys are planning ahead of time, you're like, listen, the one thing we have to plan our tour around this time going here to do this, because it's been a year-long thing that you guys been preparing for.
Right. Yep. Yeah, we had a very small window to make this happen, and we knew that we were going to be in Nebraska, because they had booked us last year right after we left. They said that they'd love to have us back, so we knew that we had that, and then we kept this a couple-day window open, and it worked out well, because then we had a big festival in West Virginia hire us for next weekend. So
that's great.
Yeah,
so
it worked out really well.
How long have you? So when did you guys get into town?
Oh, let's see, maybe about 5 days ago.
Oh, okay. So you guys have Quad City's
been checking everything out, and
everyone been treating you well?
Everyone's wonderful. Yeah, we've been spending a ton of time at Tugger's, and everyone there has been wonderful, and everyone in both towns has just been, super, super great hosts to us. The Riverview Roadhouse is, where this idea started, and, Tuggers was so great in letting us use their dock to start off with, and everyone's just been really, really taking care of us, and just so nice in both the towns.
All right, so then let's go back to the log rolling across the Mississippi. So you were preparing to do this. You would stand on the log for like an hour at a time. What do you have headphones in? Do you listen? Was there a big speaker on the canoe? Like when you were preparing, did you listen to anything, or what are you doing? What do you use? What's going through your mind while you're doing this?
It depends where we are. Lots of times I was practicing and we were actually at our show site all summer at, at different festivals and stuff. So we have a big PA system. So my husband would be a great DJ and play all kinds of things. And, I'd be out there log rolling for an hour and a half in between every show. And other than that, it's just, concentrating on going back and forth across the pool. So... so I'm like covering I'm actually covering distance, not just staying in one spot.
So when we were, I watched the beginning of the video and was listening to it so I could understand. I read the whole thing, and this is actually up on WQAD.com for those of you listening out there. You can watch the video, and we'll share it on our first Facebook page as well. And then I went more towards when you're getting closer to the end, because it's about 27 minutes right around there. Did you happen to fall at all?
I did not. No, I made it across, and we all stayed dry.
That's awesome. So, like, even when they're like, "How you doing back there?" You're like, "I'm fine. Just stop talking to me. I'm good." You're just concentrating. So,
well, actually, I was yelling up to the canoe. I'm like, "Where are we? Where are we? How much further?"
And they're like, "The Mississippi." You're like, "I know that. Like, I want to know how far away we are."
Exactly.
Well, I think this is fantastic, and I'm so happy that you gave 15 minutes of your time to talk to us. Congratulations on being what we now understand the first person to log roll across the Mississippi, and thank you so much for picking our area to do it. You could have found so many others, and I think it's fantastic that you did that out there. And if you ever come back and you have something going on, reach out to us again so we can promote it ahead of time and have you on, because I think it's fascinating, and I think it's great that you picked our area to do this.
Thank you so much. Yeah, we'll definitely know when we're back in town. We'll let you guys know.
That's great. Thank you so much, Alyssa. You have safe travels and enjoy your time in West Virginia.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, that's Alyssa Weatherby. You can go to their website, axewomen.com. Like I said, she's part of the Lumberjills. Their championship. They're in collegiate champions and world champions. And you can go to WQAD.com and find that. You just Google log rolling Mississippi WQAD, and it's up there. It's fascinating to watch. And I want to thank Derek from Tuggers for pointing that out to us and getting a hold of us. And that's the other thing that I love so much about this show is we always joke around, especially on Wednesdays, and we said it with Alyssa too, you know what you should do. And how many more times that works out than you guys would ever imagine. So if there's ever a suggestion out there, please, get a hold of us on social media, because if it's not going to work, we'll say, it might not be our thing. But majority of the time, we say, like, you know what, that's a pretty cool idea. So we should run with that. And I'm very happy to be able to talk to Alyssa. And I got to talk to her husband, too. And he was a wonderful guy, too, to talk to. And they're very appreciative of our time, just as much as I was appreciative of them taking time to talk to us. So I hope they have a great time here in the Quad Cities before they leave in 2 days to go back to West Virginia. All right. ESPN1170am.com is going to have the pick six on there. You're going to pick against the spread of 6 NFL games. We talked about them earlier. You're going to give us the total of the Sunday Night Football game. Winner is going to get 2 tickets to Brett Michaels. Last week we gave away a $100 gift certificate to Keller's American Grill. That was won by Rudy Erickson. Also, make sure to follow us on Facebook, on all your social media, Instagram and Twitter. That's at QC Hassel, at QCHASSLE. And go out there and vote. LocalsLoveUs.com. Do it for all the places around here, small businesses, the places that you like. Go out and vote for us for favorite DJs. We appreciate it. We really do. And we have no problem campaigning for this. We'd love to be number one, honestly. And I don't care how many times people say, like, well, you campaign for it. I don't care. Doesn't bother me at all. I just want to be number one. I'm a competitor. I believe in rankings. I don't care what they say. I don't care if they want to get rid of class rankings in high school. I'm a competitor. And I want to be number one. So I'm going to campaign for it. And I'm going to campaign for it through the weekend. Voting's going to end Monday Monday night at midnight. So also ends Monday night or 11:59. The contribution to Carson King's Venmo. That's Carson King 25. We all know the story. Whatever contributions he gets in his Venmo, Bush is going to match it. So is Venmo. They're going to go out there, and that's going to triple. Last I heard before we went on the show, the total with everything combined is at a $1.9 million. It probably will get over 2 by tonight, but we want to make sure we get to that. Again, it's been a crazy week for stories. I hope we will have another bye week again, but I hope we don't have a crazy bye week again for stories that don't have anything to do with nothing but positive things for the state of Iowa. Good luck to all the teams out there. Good luck to all the high school teams. I don't know any games. The only game I know for a fact that is being canceled is the sophomore game between Bettendorf and Cedar Rapids at Washington. That's going to be played on Monday, but the varsity game is still on. Stay dry out there, Quad Cities. You guys have a hassle-free Friday, and enjoy yourselves. We will talk to you guys on Monday. T-Roy's going to be out on Monday. We still have Guess the Lines, though. He's going to email them to me. He's going to give me his power rankings as well, and I'm working on a very special guest on Monday. I'll talk to you guys then. Stay dry, Quad Cities. Enjoy yourselves.
From the Sheedy Family Chiropractic Studios, this is the Quad Cities Sports Leader, ESPN 1170 AM, KPOB, Davenport.
I'm Doug Brown. Chargers coach Anthony Lynn now says running back Melvin Gordon will travel with the team to Miami and could play Sunday against the Dolphins. Gordon ended his long holdout yesterday. Eagles corner Avonte Maddox is out of the hospital and back in Philadelphia today after he left last night's game against the Packers on a stretcher late in the fourth quarter. Maddox was accidentally hit in the head by teammate Andrew Sendejo. The Eagles beat the Packers last night because the defense held on during 2 fourth-quarter Green Bay drives inside the 5-yard line. ESPN's Keyshawn Johnson didn't like the Packers play calling late in the game.
The 4 times on the yard line they didn't get it in, they elected to throw the football, not one run. Now, I don't know if Aaron Rodgers could have waved the play call off.
Buccaneers rookie linebacker Devin White is out for Sunday's game against the Rams. He still has a sprained knee. He'll miss his second game in a row. Pac-12 football tonight on ESPN at 10:30 Eastern. 15th ranked Cal hosting Arizona State.
Want to hear something amazing? Discover matches all the cash back you earn at the end of your first year automatically, with no limit to how much they'll match. Millions of people a year are getting their cash back matched. Discover Cash Back Match. What are you waiting for? Learn more at discover.com/cashbackmatch.
This is the Will Cain Show on ESPN Radio.
And on the ESPN app.
In my never-ending pursuit to be the most popular guy in sports media, I'm going to have to go against the grain. 2 figures, true groups of people, being absolutely crushed today. Well, I'm going to have to ride into the defense. Coaches and referees. Matt LaFleur and the men in striped shirts on Thursday Night Football. I didn't think they got it that bad. It's the Will Cain Show on ESPN Radio, the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80, and on ESPN News, presented by Progressive Insurance. And all callers like you are on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. That's 888-729-3776. You know, basketball season is right around the corner, and ESPN.com has put out their list of the top 100 players in the NBA. They just unveiled the top 10, and in fact, as recently as today, the top 2 players in NBA. And LeBron James, for the first time in years, is not considered the best player in basketball. And I have a feeling LeBron is about to embark on his revenge tour. That's coming up a little bit later here on the Will Cain Show, but it's time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Green Bay Packers on Thursday Night Football 34-27. And 2 quarterbacks that I've expressed various forms of doubt about in the past really showed out. Carson Wentz and Aaron Rodgers reminded everyone exactly why they're 2 of the top quarterbacks in the league. But the focus today for so many is on coaches and officials. It's the second guessing of calls made by Green Bay Packers head coach Matt LaFleur when he had first and goal and chose to pass the ball 4 different times. And on officials who today have turned pass interference into 2019's catch rule. Nobody knows what it is. Nobody can define it. They don't even recognize it when they see it. But I'm here to tell you that neither the officials nor Matt LaFleur got it as wrong as everybody wants to pretend. First, Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur is getting absolutely crushed today because he chose, when inside the 5-yard line with a first and goal, to not once run the ball. It was laid out this morning on ESPN 710 in L.A., where Keyshawn Johnson was having none of what Matt LaFleur had decided. Listen.
The play selection was horrible. You don't throw 4. This is not 16 seconds to go in the game.
Right.
It's 9 minutes
to go.
10 minutes in the game.
Right.
Run the ball on first down. I don't care if you throw on first. Throw it on first. Run it on second. I don't care if you run it on second and throw it on third. But give me a mix. Don't sit back and just decide to sling it.
And in fact, the analytics support Keyshawn Johnson's take. Warren Sharp at Sharp Football Analytics, he tweeted this out. 6 plays inside the 5-yard line, 6 passes. Totally goes against the grain of what analytics tells you is a successful way to score the ball when inside the 5-yard line. Sharp said, when you run the ball inside the 5-yard line, you have a 57% success rate. When you throw the ball in the same scenario, you have a 45% success rate. And in fact, you would think I would agree with Keyshawn Johnson or analytics, because it was only a week ago that I was crushing Freddie Kitchens, the head coach of the Cleveland Browns, for making the exact same decision with Baker Mayfield. First and goal, inside the 5, 4 straight passes. And I had some harsh words for Freddie Kitchens. But Keyshawn's wrong, analytics are wrong, and I'm right in both instances. Here's why. I understand I'm inconsistent, but life is inconsistent. The problem with analytics is they flatten everything. It flattens it into non-characters, non-human beings. It flattens it into digits. Yeah, I'm sure if you run the ball inside the 5-yard line, on average, when you take a massive sample size and reduce every single individual on the field to a digit, running is much more successful than passing. But that's not really what the decision was for Matt LaFleur was last night, was it? He wasn't dealing with ones and zeros. He wasn't dealing with flattened, characterless digits out there. He was dealing with human beings. He was dealing with a situation. He was dealing with unique individuals. And this is what Matt LaFleur was dealing with. He had Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones had ran the ball 13 times last night for a total of 21 yards. He was averaging about 1.7 yards per carry. When I criticized Freddie Kitchens, you know what was sitting in the backfield for Freddie Kitchens? Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb, who was moving the ball on the ground for the Cleveland Browns. Also in the backfield with Nick Chubb, when Freddie Kitchens decided to throw the ball 4 straight times, was Baker Mayfield, who was not great that night.
This time for Matt LaFleur, what was in the backfield for the Green Bay Packers along with Aaron Jones? One of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks in the league, one of the top 2 or 3 quarterbacks of the last decade. Aaron Rodgers was in the backfield, and Aaron Rodgers was having an incredible night. Matt LaFleur made a decision tailored to the individuals on the field, the situation that presented itself, unique, not flattened digits, but living in the moment. The Philadelphia Eagles' run defense was nasty. They were absolutely shutting down the Green Bay Packers. But when Rodgers threw the ball, they were finding success, specifically when he was throwing the ball to Davante Adams. Now, he was out, he was injured, he was hurt during this particular sequence of events. But Aaron Rodgers is who you want the ball game. You want it in his hands. Not the 1.7 yards per average carry Aaron Jones in that moment. Not everything can be reduced into flattened characteristics. You know, I'm sure that insurance companies would tell me, hey, Will, don't go passing people on the highway on the right side. You know, if it's a little busy on the left, don't swoop into the slow lane and make your pass over there. You're driving a Toyota Highlander. You're a 40-something-year-old man driving a Toyota Highlander. You ain't exactly a speed demon out there. Maybe you, though, you're driving a Corvette, you know? You're like Skip Bayless in L.A., putting on your driving gloves and driving a Corvette. And the numbers don't really apply to you. Not with you. Your driving skills, your equipment, they apply to me and my driving skills and my equipment. The skills and equipment at Matt LaFleur's disposal was one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. That wasn't what was at Freddie Kitchens' disposal, and that's not what analytics can take into account. You use analytics. You don't turn yourself into a slave to analytics, and you pay attention to the greatest quarterback, greatest coach of all time, who had this to say about the numbers.
With analytics, how much would you say, if any, that has a role in going for it on 4th down or 2-point conversion for you guys, just in general?
For me, for us?
Yeah.
Less than 0.
So is it more just like a gut thing for you?
Well, I don't say it's a gut thing. I think it's it's an individual analysis based on the things that are pertinent to that game and that situation. I don't really care what happened in 1973 and what those teams did or didn't do. I don't really think that matters in this game. Or 83 or 90, pick out whatever year you want. It's not really my thing.
You don't want to listen to me. Listen to Bill Belichick, who said that this morning. That's Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. Everything for less, only at Walmart. LeBron James ranked behind Kawhi Leonard and Giannis Antetokounmpo. Is LeBron James now just the 3rd best player in the NBA? I have a feeling he's about to embark on a revenge tour. That's next on The Will Cain Show on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app. Kronos knows that hiring and retaining a modern workforce of salaried, hourly, full, and part-time workers can be challenging, especially in today's competitive job market. That's why Kronos puts HR, payroll, talent, and time in one place. So HR professionals supporting a blended workforce have all the tools they need to engage and motivate their people every step of the way. Learn more at Kronos.com/HR swagger. Kronos, workforce innovation that works. LeBron is about to get his revenge, and I'm going to also defend the referees in last night's Thursday Night Football game. That's next on The Will Cain Show.
The Will Cain Show.
I am a big fan of your show. You make my head want to explode like 4 times an hour. You have bowling balls, okay?
Will Cain. More coming up.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Starting route now. Turn right at Fortress Mountain. Turn left at Mount Hood. Head south to Moab, Utah. Continue on the Great North American Test Drive.
Run with us on a John Deere Gator XUV 835.
With our quietest cab ever and optional heat and AC, and a 4-wheel independent suspension, it's built to run where no one else can. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere Gator for more.
Major League Baseball's postseason is coming.
Gone! Another home run!
Every team wants it so badly. Every player wants it so badly.
The track in the wall leaps and he caught it! He caught it up against the wall!
You've made it this far. There's only one goal left to win it all.
Gone! What's it all?
Hear every game of the 2019 postseason on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN app.
ACC Network is the new home for all things ACC. Get closer to the teams and traditions you love. With live games, inside access, original content, and analysis. Visit getaccn.com to check availability in your area and demand ACCN today. We do this.
Coming up Monday on Packer and Durham, we react to the massive Virginia-Notre Dame showdown and discuss everything from the weekend in the ACC. 7 Eastern Time on ACC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app.
This crowd is ready for SEC football. Wildcats, Gamecocks, welcome to SEC Saturday night. To the end zone, touchdown Kentucky. Got it, South Carolina.
SEC Saturday night, Kentucky versus South Carolina. Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on the SEC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app.
Gardner Minshew and the Jacksonville Jaguars head to Mile High to face the Denver Broncos.
I am proud to be an American where Gardner Minshew becomes the hero.
Coverage begins Sunday at 4 Eastern on ESPN Radio. Presented by Exxon and Mobil.
If you have frequent heartburn, take control of it with Prilosec OTC. Instead of stashing antacids everywhere, like in your junk drawer, buried under old batteries and hotel pens, or in your purse, hiding in the one pocket you won't check. You even have antacids on your nightstand, which are very hard to see in the dark. It's time you stopped stashing antacids and started taking Prilosec OTC. 1 pill a day, 24 hours, 0 heartburn.
It's possible with Prilosec OTC. Use as directed for 14 days, not for immediate relief.
Hi, Marty Smith here, and my friends at Marathon are really helping you save. Because right now you get 5 cents off every gallon, every day with Make It Count rewards from Marathon. Plus, you can earn points for additional savings on fuel, airfare, hotels, and more. It's quick and easy to join. Just visit makeitcount.com/radio or download the free app. So start saving today with Make It Count from Marathon. Offer valid only at participating Marathon locations. Marathon, fueling the American spirit.
Did you know overall job satisfaction is at its highest level in 15 years? Wow. 51%. Wait, what? That's barely half. Would you see a doctor with 51% patient satisfaction? No way. Yet 49% of you keep driving to that unsatisfying job. Why? You have options. Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation today. You could start your new life as an IT pro in as little as 4 months. Classes meet just twice a week. It's not rocket science. It's My Computer Career. mycomputercareer.edu.
Don't you hate scrambling on the road when you're looking for a place to spend the night?
We all do. That's why when you travel for work, stay at La Quinta by Wyndham.
They've got everything you need to tackle the job, from free high-speed Wi-Fi to a spacious workspace right in your room.
Plus, their Bright Side breakfast comes with waffles, eggs, fruit, and meat.
Now, that's a game changer.
They've got over 900 locations so you can cover the gridiron.
And best of all, they're part of Wyndham Rewards, so those extra points really add up.
Tonight, La Quinta. Tomorrow, you triumph. Book direct at LQ.com.
Man, I just wanted to say, basically, man, I find myself disagreeing with you a lot of the time.
Don't agree with Will? Not sure how that could happen. Call 888-SAY-ESPN now.
I know it's going to seem like I'm being inconsistent today, but so be it. I just don't think you can be a slave to the numbers. I don't think life is reduced to ones and zeros. I don't think analytics drive everything in sports. I don't think Baker Mayfield and Aaron Rodgers are the same. It's the Will Cain Show on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app, SiriusXM Channel 80, and on ESPN News, presented by Progressive Insurance. And as long as I'm being inconsistent, and as long as I'm going against my own grain, let me now support LeBron James. I think in the past, it would have been fair at times, certainly enough people have said it, hey, Will, you're a LeBron James hater. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just not worshiping in the congregation. I'm just not on my knees singing the gospel of LeBron in whatever he does. And I understand that that draws the ire of the choir on numerous occasions. If I say, hey, you know, LeBron's kind of goofy on social media. How dare you? Blasphemous. If I say, hey, you know, I'm not sure LeBron is the greatest speaker on the world's biggest social issues and what troubles our country. What are you talking about? He's the greatest basketball player since Michael Jordan. If I say LeBron James' defense has gotten a little slack and there's some guys creeping up on him like KD, and KD might have surpassed him as the best player on the planet, well, then I have burned the church house down. And I am ready to be heard. There is going to be pitchforks. There's going to be a mob. They're coming at me. But I'm just being a realist. That's how I feel about it. I'm not hating on LeBron. I'm not loving on LeBron. I'm just being real about LeBron. And let me tell you what's real about LeBron today. LeBron James is about to go on a massive revenge tour. ESPN.com has a rank of the top NBA players in the league. They've laid out their top 100 players. In the last day or two, they've narrowed it down to the final 10. And then today, the final 2. The ranking goes like this here. The best player in the league, according to ESPN.com, is Giannis Antetokounmpo of the Milwaukee Bucks. At second, it's Kawhi Leonard of the Los Angeles Clippers. And at third, it's LeBron James of the Los Angeles Lakers. He's followed by James Harden and Anthony Davis to round out the top 5. And what I'm here to tell you is, while in the past I have said that Kevin Durant is passing LeBron James as the greatest player on the planet, while I have said in the past that the King has started to lay down the crown, I also don't think the King is going down without a fight. LeBron James is about to destroy the NBA. He's about to remind everybody just how good he is. And the only thing that's going to keep LeBron James back will be LeBron James. I imagine the Lakers are going to implement. I imagine LeBron James is going to implement some load management this season. I imagine that it will be hard for him to put up the kind of numbers that put him in the MVP race because he's got to stay healthy. And at his age, and the way things went for him last season, that's priority number 1 during the regular season. It won't be to win the regular season MVP. It won't be to pad the stat sheet. That will be for Anthony Davis to do. But by the time the Lakers make the playoffs, and I think they most certainly will make the playoffs, LeBron James, I think at that point, is going to show us exactly what it is we've been missing for the last year. He wasn't in the playoffs. And in the NBA, if you're not in the playoffs, you're out of sight, out of mind. We're going to have discussions about Giannis Antetokounmpo. We're going to put Kawhi Leonard on the pedestal of greatest player in the NBA. We're going to, for a moment there, in unison, recognize the moment that KD had arrived and then went down with a tragic injury. With Kevin Durant no longer part of the debate, at least in the short term, I think LeBron James is going to absolutely capture our attention, remind us, and never forgive us for doubting him. My understanding is LeBron James just got done talking in Los Angeles, and this is what he had to say.
I'm very motivated, but I'm right now not in talking about it mode. I've been very quiet this summer for a reason. And my mother always told me, don't talk about it, be about it. Man, so that's where I'm at.
I imagine he's going to be about it. I imagine it won't have to be talked about. I imagine it will be shown. And I imagine LeBron James is about to remind us he's one of the best players on the planet. Let's go into this NFL's big weekend with our Will Cain Show 2-minute drill brought to you by Capital One, the Spark Cash Card from Capital One. Capital One's business credit card. Learn more at CapitalOne.com. What's in your wallet?
All right, that's it. Now let's go. Let's go. Yeah.
When the game is on the line and the clock is winding down,
We're going to get this thing started.
it's time to run.
The 2-minute drill.
All right, here we are. Take it away, fellas.
Here we are, Will. Week 4. Are you ready? We'll start with the Browns and the Ravens in Baltimore. Who has more passing yards in this game, Lamar Jackson or Baker Mayfield?
You know, Doug, I'm glad you asked. Speaking of revenge tours, I happen to think that Baker Mayfield is going to do a little bit of reminding this weekend as well. I've spent some of this week criticizing Baker Mayfield. I've said he needs to be a little bit more like Daniel Jones. Let his actions do a little more talking than his words. But I think that Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns are better than what they have shown us. I think they are worse than the hype that accompanied them preseason. But I think they are better than what they've shown us so far this season. And in this matchup between the Browns and the Ravens, I'm going to tell you that Baker Mayfield is going to have more passing yards than Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson may add more all-purpose yards. He may run as well as pass the ball and carry that Ravens offense. But I think that Baker and Odell and Jarvis Landry are going to begin to click at some point. And I think this weekend is when it starts for Baker Mayfield and the Cleveland Browns. What do you got next, Doug?
Giants hosting the Redskins at the Meadowlands. Well, here's the question. Should Dwayne Haskins play this weekend for Washington?
You know, here's the thing about this question. It really pushes me on some ideas that I've held to for years. Ideas like this. If you draft a rookie quarterback in the first round, it's a matter of when, not if, you get him on the field. And the truth of the matter is, the sooner, the better. You're just delaying the future when you draft a Daniel Jones and you sit him behind Eli Manning for a couple of weeks. You're just delaying the future when you draft Baker Mayfield and make him sit behind Tyrod Taylor. Get on with getting on. My only hesitation for saying that about Dwayne Haskins and the Washington Redskins is it feels like you would be inserting Dwayne Haskins into a burning building and asking him with a bucket of water to put out the flames. This thing in Washington seems to be falling apart before our eyes. Jay Gruden seems to have a tenuous grasp on his job. Is Dwayne Haskins going to succeed in that environment? I've said before, look, if they have it, they have it. They're not going to be ruined by putting them in too early. But I think we also have to ask ourselves, is Dwayne Haskins ready to succeed? I'll tell you this, Doug. In the end, I'm probably going to fall back on my lessons, my truisms, that you got to get him in sooner rather than later. In the end, I'm probably going to say we got to get Dwayne Haskins on the field as soon as possible. But I do think the Redskins need to make sure they can do everything to put him in a position to succeed before that. The Will Cain Show on ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. Quote, buy and save on home insurance with Progressive's new Home Quote Explorer. Only at Progressive.com. All right, coming up, one of the guys that played for that coach, that greatest of all time, that said he pays less than 0% attention to analytics, jumps here on the Will Cain Show. Rob Ninkovich, next.
This is the Will Cain Show.
I say something, everybody yells, you're a moron, you're stupid, you're a troll, you're hot-taking. A little time passes, everybody goes, I think that guy might have been onto something.
More from Will Cain coming up.
What's good, Stephen A?
Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a different kind of world. You think there isn't a day that goes by that I want to call stuff to the carpet about the inequities that exist in our industry and beyond? You think I don't want to point those things out? But there's a level of decorum and professionalism that comes along with everything. And the fact of the matter is, just using myself as an example, if I acted belligerent or like a hooligan or unprofessional or whatever the case may be, you know who is going to affect? Those who follow. Because I'm under contract. But the next person that comes in line, it's not to say you can't express yourself. You have to compromise the realness of you and the truth that enshrouds you and all of that other stuff. Nobody's saying that. But there's a manner and a way to do things professionally when you work in a professional corporate environment and you have your hand out for somebody else's money, which is why I'm appalled by Antonio Brown.
The Stephen A. Smith Show. Weekdays at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
This crowd is ready for SEC football. Wildcats, Gamecocks, welcome to SEC Saturday night. To the end zone, touchdown Kentucky. Got it, South Carolina.
SEC Saturday night, Kentucky versus South Carolina. Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on the SEC Network and streaming live on the ESPN app.
Are you ready for Monday night? Are the Bengals and Steelers ready to renew this bitter rivalry and battle it out in prime time? Is Juju Smith-Schuster ready to continue redefining the position? Well, Andy Dalton is ready, and all his young weapons are too. Are you ready for Monday night? Bengals, Steelers, Monday at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
Hey, y'all, we're taking the Marty Party to a whole new level with the Marty Smith's America podcast. I laid there just for a second. I was so angry at that thing because it got me in the rib, man. That horn hit me right in the left rib, and it ticked me off. And you go back and watch the video, and his other horn actually missed my nose by an inch, maybe an inch. So I just sat there and flew him the bird. I just held up my middle finger at him for like a minute. The Marty Smith's America podcast on the ESPN app and Apple Podcasts.
Sí, very intrigued by the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
Kobe Bryant wanted to cut the drive short in traffic to practice. So he either did or was thinking about buying a helicopter. But everyone knows that Kobe Bryant, all over Los Angeles, parked his Lamborghini wherever the hell he wanted to. And he wouldn't get towed anywhere in Los Angeles. He would just park it.
The Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz on ESPN Radio and ESPN News.
The coaches have the vision.
The players have the skills.
But it's us, the fans, that make the game what it is.
We bring the allegiance.
We bring the insanity.
We pack the basements and living rooms and garages.
We fire up the smokers at 4 a.m.
We bring the tradition and throw the tailgate.
We stoke the love and the hate.
Without us, it's not college football.
The game needs us.
Saturday needs us.
So, there's only one question.
Who's in?
The college football playoff returns Saturday, December 28th on ESPN.
The Washington Redskins head to MetLife Stadium to face Daniel Jones and the New York Giants.
This guy is the truth.
Coverage begins Sunday at noon Eastern on ESPN Radio. Presented by Vivid Seats.
Every time you try us, we're always ready.
Saturday, it's ACC Network in prime time. North Carolina State.
Thomas makes a house call.
Florida State.
Feed number 3. Touchdown, Florida State.
ACCN Primetime Football presented by Geico. North Carolina State versus Florida State. Saturday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on ACCN and streaming live on the ESPN app.
Suddenly, Minshew Mania has taken over Jacksonville.
Look at you. I mean, I am proud to be an American where Gardner Minshew becomes a hero.
Up next, he leads the Jags to Mile High to face the Denver Broncos, who are desperate for a win.
He'll high step it. Touchdown, Denver.
So good. Actually, it's remarkable, to be honest with you.
Oh, man. Can't beat it. Can't beat it with a stick, man.